What's up, guys? I'm Isaac here at Tobacco Road Harley-Davidson, and I have your pre-owned bike of the week, this 2024 Harley-Davidson Street Glide Standard. That's right, we have a pre-owned Street Glide Standard, a 2024 model. So what we're going to do is we're going to take this one, we'll rip around Raleigh and really show you how it stacks up compared to the previous generation of Street Glides and give you that firsthand look at what it's like to drive one of these things, you know, for your everyday commute. So we're going to go do that, do a couple of road tests with it. But this one is pre-owned, so a couple of things were done to it, so let's talk about those right quick. First thing you're going to notice is it does have a passenger backrest. So that's going to be a little nice touch for your passenger, obviously. Or if you, of course, if you want to strap any sort of luggage to it, you always have that option. This motorcycle also has the little highway pegs up on the engine guards, stretch out a little bit on the highway. And then it also is rocking the heel shifter over here, as well as a little aftermarket decorative shift linkage and minor little features here and there for that. But overall, it is a Whiskey Fire 2024 Street Glide, rocking that black trim all around. Very sharp motorcycle. If you don't know much about the 2024 model Street Glides, we'll go ahead and tell you. The biggest difference, of course, is the body style. You've got new LEDs all the way around it. I'll go ahead and cut it on and show you what that looks like. So you've got new body style, newly shaped tank, still rocking 6 gallons. You actually have a little bit more storage in the bags. Your brake lights, they're no longer in the middle, but they're actually between the fender and the saddlebags itself. New buttons, so that way you've got a little bit different layout here so that we can navigate this massive screen. So you no longer have an analog gauge, now you have this massive digital screen that we're going to talk about here a little bit. Also liquid cooled heads. So you're rocking liquid cooled heads on this 117 Milwaukee 8 motor. So lots of good power, lots of good performance, and it's going to be able to run a little bit cooler. So that's going to be really great. We do have these basic speakers. We're going to go see how they do on the highway, see what it's like. And yeah, you should have the easy open bags, a couple other minor features we're going to talk about here and there. A little bit lighter design all around, especially up in the fairing, so handling should be a little bit better. We're going to talk about that as well. But yeah, lots of new stuff on this bike, and I'm excited to go rip her around and go talk about it. All right, guys, here it is, 2024 Harley-Davidson Street Glide pre-owned. Gonna go ahead and get dressed here for you right quick, do a little proper at-gap for you. Quick thing about these bags. I was told they've been reinforced of sorts, so they're actually a little bit stronger. So it's not that I think it was really an issue, people breaking them before, but I believe they're a little bit stronger now as well. So throw on a fancy little mesh jacket. It's a pretty warm summer day, not summer, it's a pretty warm spring day out here in Raleigh, North Carolina. But I will go ahead and start it up here for you. Fob's in my pocket. Go ahead and show it to you. So, new setup, as you can see, super easy startup, and I'll just go ahead and tap this. Ready to go, and see I've got my bright neutral indicator there. So no analog gauges on this one here. Let's hear it. Stock exhaust. So there's our brake light setup, passenger little backrest. Yeah, it's pretty cool. Nothing too crazy, nothing too fancy, but I mean it's for a stock, a 117 stock in a Street Glide Standard with all these new benefits. It's pretty exciting. It's a little warm, so I'm gonna mess with these a little bit. I'm gonna see if these guys get a little bit more wind on me here. The Willy Wings, I believe they're called. We'll see. See how it goes. Yeah, so slow leg over this thing. It's already warmed up a little bit. So if I wanted to put my phone somewhere, show you that. Put my phone here, I can plug it up. That way you're not trying to jam everything on the previous Street Glides up in here on the side. Do that. Go right there. I have seen photos of people putting other items in there that seems to fit pretty well. But you just have a 10-pound limit. So right out the gate, well, let me back up. So I do, let me back up some more here. So I do the photos for pretty much all of our inventory here at Tobacco Road. So I move these motorcycles around a lot. And I'm going to tell you that these new ones, they're a little bit easier to move around. So this is the first one I've taken out on the highway there. So we'll have to bring it back before they catch me. So let's go ahead and see. I was just using my rear brake on that one. Felt pretty good. So you'll see it has 464 miles on it. Yeah, this is kind of fun. Getting a good, ooh, I can really feel the wheelie wings shoot it like straight to your armpits. That's so nice. Wow, that really gets some good airflow around this thing. That little bump right there, that felt pretty good. This motorcycle right here actually hit the day I'm shooting this video. It actually got on our floor that day, or this day. So braking's good. Let's see. Right out of the gate, I'm also noticing those slow speed maneuvers. Pretty easy. I'm gonna take it a little bit easier too. I'm not gonna do any crazy like red line shifts here for you. Not too many anyway. Just because, like I said, you know, doesn't even have 500 miles on it, so it's still getting broken in a little bit. So we're gonna take it a little bit easier for you and try not to catch whatever the side of this thing is. If you've been keeping up with Raleigh news, and you'll know that Dreamville was pretty recently, so they're still cleaning up some stuff from that festival. Pretty big. I want to say the official number I saw was 52,000 people in Dorothea Dix Park, right beside a stone's throw away from Tobacco Road Harley-Davidson. So that's pretty wild, knowing that you had 52,000 people right next door. So I also have it in road mode. I'll throw it up in sport here in just a minute, but yeah, pretty simple. Oh, I hit the wrong button. This button layout is going to take a minute to get used to. Damn, the Mazda almost took it a little wide there. So how's leaning on this thing? It's kind of nice. It's pretty good. It's a little pretty easy today, so I'll be able to see if there's any, how that wind feels on it. But I mean, this is a Harley-Davidson touring bike, and man, it feels like it wants to tour. It's so nice right here. That 117 is something else. Oh yeah, the bars are kind of low. I know that's one thing I have heard so far, that between the road glide, I'll talk about that later. Right now we'll just talk about cruising on the highway. It feels great. 70 miles an hour, very stable, even with these drafts. Yeah, so having that open all the way really cuts out pretty much any of this buffeting I was just getting, so that's pretty nice. Oh yeah, nice and smooth. I'll let you guys see what's going on up here. Yeah, I got my highway pegs. Gonna stretch out on those right quick. Oh, that's a really good stance right there. Yeah, so this is a stock motorcycle, all things considered, and it's cozy. I mean, yeah, really the only reason you'd want to change too much would be for cosmetic reasons. I will talk about these handlebars. These handlebars, between the positions on the Street Glide and Road Glides, more folks tend to prefer where your hands are at on the Road Glide, just a little bit higher. I am noticing on this one that my hands are at a much lower, I want to say, kind of traditional motorcycle stance. You know, you're a little bit lower. You know, you can kind of keep your wrist flat. You know, it's almost like a piano posture, if you will, for any of my musicians listening today. Yeah, so got that going on. I forgot to show you one of my favorite things about this motorcycle actually isn't the motorcycle at all. It's actually the key fob. So on these ones, or at least on the Grand American Touring bikes, since whichever system it was got updated, it's actually a different sized key fob now. So the little key fob you get is actually significantly smaller than the standard one and the one that's still comes on the Softail models. So that's a nice little added bonus. You do still have the hard key, the hard circle key on this bike to lock your forks right there, as well as locking your saddlebags. So yeah, braking's great on this bike, handling's great on this bike. Just good all the way around. Let's see, there's so many things I want to talk about on this bike. Digital gauges. So at first, I was a little hesitant. You know, obviously I ride a Harley, so I like, obviously I like, you know, a little more old school things. And digital gauge or analog gauges were one of those. I really like having an analog tack. On this bike, however, I kind of changed my mind a little bit. So I'll show you what I'm talking about here in a second. But yeah, so here's what I got. I got my speedometer. I think this is like the standard touring mode. So I have my speedometer and my tachometer right here together, and then in the middle you could put your maps. Or no, this isn't the touring. This is the standard. I can put my maps in the middle, which is another thing. So now, so the advantage is now you can have a better map system on your Street Glide and your Road Glide. So you have using the Skyline OS system, you now have a much better navigation system. The downside is that you do have, it is a monthly subscription, I believe, or it is a subscription based, so that would be an additional cost. Now for most folks that were already using, you know, Apple Maps or that sort of thing, you know, you can display that a lot better up here. But if you want that independent unit in here, then you would have to pay for that. So it kind of balances out, I think. You know, you don't have to pay for something that you might not use unless you want it, you know. So go ahead and see. Now before I get too far in here, I am going to show you this. So I'm going to use my buttons here on the left, go up to settings. Who's this? That guy. That dude's tall. And now I'm going to go to display. So this is the cruise layout. So I'm going to throw it in. So if someone was partying there. So this is the one I was talking about. So the sport's the one I really want to show you. Check that out. Alright, so I'm getting ready to start hauling on this motorcycle, and really, you know, like for instance, I'm coming up here on the twisties. Obviously these twisties I can't really speed too much in. But if I was coming up on some other twisties that I could kind of get a little bit more speed through, you would see, so I can switch over to this and I can see, alright, analog tack, focus on it, tuck in, and I can quick glance down, I can see my speed and gears and get a good peripheral view of where my engine speed's at. So, and then of course the other things. Then I believe, so you can still do your like little settings and things like that on the left, and then on the right, that's where I can show you my, that's where I can have my maps displayed and that sort of thing. So let's see what's it like to lean on this thing. So I'm going to come off it a little bit further. But I mean, obviously I'm not going to go straight floorboard, but I mean, that's probably the smoothest I've taken a Street Glide through here, to be honest. That's pretty good. Hello. Buddy pulling forward, looking at his lap. That's what you want. Feels pretty nice. It's just pleasant, you know. It seems to be a really good throttle position and mapping for you know, just this everyday moving on the road. So here's what I am going to do next. I am going to throw this in sport mode for this next little bit here. But first, I'm going to show you a radio. So right here, let's go to FM 101 point. Let's go. there's a lot of buttons. That's definitely something you're definitely going to want to sit down with your owner's manual before you head out on the road and really crack into this thing and see what all it's got going on. Alright, let me turn the radio on now that we're about to be stopped, all the while keeping a good little view. What's behind me? So, let's see here. I don't think that's actually anything. It is touchscreen, but I am... Nope, okay.
Price and participation may vary, cannot be combined with any other.
Let's go to...
Bailey's online world that once again they've approved the cost of a first-class stamp will go from.
Let's go to 96.1. That seems to be. Usually don't have this many ads.
Says the increase is necessary due to rising costs of processing and delivering mail. Similar increases.
All right, here's what we're gonna do first, though. I'm gonna come on over, and I'm gonna make this turn, and then I'm gonna drop it in sport mode.
The released body cam video shows an officer rushing into a lake to save a 15-year-old girl. This happened Monday afternoon in Tacoma, Washington. The officer was in full uniform.
So, my thumb.
Swim, but he says he continued to
rain. Come on now. Sport mode deactivated? What is this? Unfortunate. Go ahead and cut that volume down. Alright, so where were we? Ah, yes. Cruising down here. So, I mean, the 117 will hustle, so I mean, I'm at 3,500 RPMs, third gear. I'm gonna use up a little bit here for this guy. Suspension feels pretty good. Yeah, it just doesn't feel like a touring. I mean, it just doesn't feel like as big as it looks when you're getting this thing moving. And that's kind of how the touring bikes have always been. But this one in particular, or at least the newer models, I mean, they just feel a little more nimble, a little bit sportier. It's pretty fun. So, I like it. So let's see how it does at these low speeds here right quick. Low speeds behind a bus. Campus Crossing's got somewhere to be. Let's see here. There we go. Yeah, pretty nifty. So this bike can do a lot. There's a lot of tech in here. A lot that's really really will take some adjustment to get used to, for sure, especially kind of how these buttons are. I got some short stubby thumbs too, so biggest gripe I'm seeing obviously is I'm gonna have to do some work I'm gonna have to set the cruise control just to use one of these buttons. So yeah, left side, that's not a problem. With the right side, we'll have to play around with that. Let's see, but there are some advantages to these controls. One of the biggest ones being that you have a little high beam flasher. So instead of being forced to use my high beam, low beam switch, now it's quick. It's with my pointer finger on my left, and it's just a quick little doot-doot. But the nice part about it is saving space up here, so I can just flick it up, and that will go ahead and turn on the high beam. But if I just want to flash somebody, let them know, like, hey, you should slow down. Or like, hey, I'm coming. Doot, doot. Easy as that. I can send people my Morse code signals a little bit easier now. So, yeah. With these bikes, they are Grand American touring bikes. But they're not bad at all for, this everyday kind of riding. You don't have to be someone who is just going to go ride You know, you don't have to be someone who's gonna only go ride coast to coast. You know, if you're just, if that, you know, this motorcycle, you might never even plan on doing that kind of riding. You know, you just want a comfortable ride for around town. This ain't bad. This ain't bad at all. One other little ergonomic feature I'm noticing, the turn signals. It is the extended little turn signal caps. So it's a little easier to reach on that. So I'm gonna go ahead and go nice and smooth. Oh yeah, it's pretty good. And we'll check out sport mode up here at the stoplight in just a second. Yeah. It's just so much fun to go whip this bike around. It just moves so well underneath you too. Yeah, I don't see any reason to go further. The braking's great. It's a lot of motorcycle, but it's a great package that controls everything very, very well. So let's see what let's see if we can change these modes. So I have rain, which that just slows everything down pretty much. So you don't have your full, have to run it up a little bit, but you don't have your full horsepower or torque. Keeps it all just a little bit more mellowed down. So the theory is, you know, rain, road's gonna be a little bit slicker, so it kind of smooths all the controls out a little bit more for you. So you have to have bigger inputs, so that way everything's a little bit smoother, and hopefully it'll reduce the chance of braking traction on the road a little bit better. So, and back to road. So yeah, you can turn on and off some of these ride modes. So like I could have a custom ride mode, but obviously I don't have to cycle through it every time. So, or if I'm just kind of, you know, I don't really like sport mode, maybe I feel like it's too touchy, I just love road mode and rain mode, then I can kind of turn those other ones off. So that way when I'm switching between modes, it's a little bit quicker to cycle through. It's like on the Pan Am when you're cycling through those modes, you've got custom modes and road mode and rain mode and sport mode and off-road mode plus, and a little bit of everything. I like the seat. It's comfortable. It's a very comfortable riding position. I do like my hands up a little bit higher, but for, you know, every average riders, I mean, this feels pretty good. But we're not average riders, are we? You are a rider thinking about getting a Street Glide, or you just love hearing the sound of my voice and want to watch our latest video. Yeah, it'll scoop pretty well. You know, that 117, it's got pretty good low-end grunt there, as it should. But it's just smooth. Smooth all the way around. So, definitely a bike worth coming to check out here. So, thank you for, as always, riding along with us today and checking out this pre-owned 2024 Harley-Davidson Street Glide. So, if you want to know more about this motorcycle or any other motorcycles here at Tobacco Road, then as always, be sure to stop by here, visit our website, check them out. So thank you folks for riding along with us, and we hope to see you out here sometime soon. And of course, if you have any questions, drop in the comments or reach out as always. But yeah, that was a quick little ride and review of this motorcycle. So thanks for watching, and come see us.